Hey there everyone, Antinatalism here and welcome to my channel. I haven't posted a talking video for a while, so I hope this one will be good enough to post on YouTube. I want to talk about gratification and delaying gratification because I think it's very important that we realize how to deal with this in our life. So when we talk about things like happiness and ultimate satisfaction in life and that sort of thing, there are a lot of people who have a lot of things in life and great luxuries, pleasures. They travel, they have lots of things, they consume lots, but they're still not happy. And it's interesting that we can make comparisons between someone like me, who's a minimalist, and someone like them, who has everything that they seem to need, but are still not happy. I think there's some important lessons to be learned in this regard because Um, I have a vegan friend who travels a lot, but often experiences stress and trauma, and not necessarily trauma, but sort of like she doesn't feel very grateful for what she has, and she even has this spiritual aspect to her life, and believes in in abundance and all the great things, all the has seems to have all the ethical um, sort of principles in place, but is still not happy. So what I wanted to say was, by delaying gratification for certain things, we can create a ladder of success and a ladder of happiness towards where we want to be. So for me, for example, I'm just thinking about certain things that I have feelings about. For example, sexuality. I'm a virgin, I'm an incel, but I still enjoy sexuality to a large degree. And I'm just wondering why that is. Why I can still enjoy porn, for example. Well, I can still enjoy soft porn or hard porn and still feel that I haven't got to the end of my journey with that. That's just an example. I can think of other things like not owning a car, for example. I travel using public transport and walking. I'm very happy with that. I'm very happy with my progress as a minimalist. I'm happy with my sustainability as a human on this planet compared to most other people. As I mentioned in Facebook recently, my carbon footprint is lower than more than 999 out of 1,000 people that I meet on social media or in real life. So I'm doing very well, and I'm very pleased with my very low carbon footprint. So when we appreciate these things, when we appreciate that we um, are not over consuming, we can also appreciate when we do consume things, we can really let ourselves go and really feel like we're living that YOLO sort of life, that you only live once sort of life. I went to a party recently and it was a bit of a disappointment to me. But I still had that little vibe going and I still had that enjoyment factor going because I appreciated every moment of where I was, even though it was a complete flop and a failure for me on a social level. There were still things that I was grateful for. I was grateful to my friend for inviting me, for having a little chat with me. So all of these things put in perspective allow us to feel happy within ourselves and to feel grateful on a relative level. And I think that's very important. Just trying to think of other things. I just bought a mattress, for example, which is the first mattress I bought for about 6 or 6.5 years, 7 years now, in this apartment. I was using an old mattress for 6.5 years, which was given to me with this apartment. And for the first time in those 6.5 years, I bought a new mattress. And the interesting thing is, this new mattress isn't particularly good. I may have made a very faulty decision with my purchase. Um, and so when we buy new things, we often feel disappointed and deflated because we're buying things which are inherently bad quality or something not very good happens, and that spoils our entire situation. So being grateful has a lot of elements to it. Sometimes you can be disappointed by a little thing, and that creates a kind of like some sort of cavity in your happiness, and it makes it really sad, because you can't do anything about what you spent $320. Like I spent $320 on this new mattress, and I'm not happy with it, and I feel disappointment and all that stuff, and that congeals and accumulates, and so let's let's all put things in perspective. Okay, if there's something that you really, really want, and you know you want it, and you worked hard for it, and you've accumulated the money for it, maybe it's time to spend on that, or maybe it's not. So, for example, with I mentioned pornography before. I've never paid money for pornography. At the same time, I get all the free stuff, and that satisfies me um, enough to want to go back, and realizing, of course, that I'm not getting quality material, but at the same time, it's just there and it's free, and I'm that element of being penny wise to me is very, very interesting, because um, okay, I'm penny wise, but I've made a lot of big pound foolish decisions with my spending in recent times, especially, and I think that being penny wise in itself is pretty good, is a pretty good mentality, because um, I can save $1 and be really happy with that. Um, if I'm more careful with my spending on large things in the future, I think I can perfect my mentality and become a much better person overall. So that's something for me to aim towards in the future. Let me think of some other examples if I can. I mentioned obviously not having children is important to me. Antinatalism is important to me. Um, of course, I love children. I love dealing with young people, and I have a few young friends on Facebook, and they mean the world to me. Even though they may not be very special to anybody else, they're very, very special to me. Um, I have a couple of very young Facebook friends. They're about 22 years old, that sort of thing. And we get along well with each other, and they're very valuable to me. And I love them for who they are, and I love them much more than they love me, probably. And they're much more valuable to me than I am to them, because I only have two of them, whereas they have a lot of friends. So all of this stuff is relative, and this is the idea that I want to ingrain in everybody that's watching this video, is that we can be grateful for the things that we have, even though they're very small. Um, but if there is a slight seed of discontentment or something, a judgment that we have to make about, like this mattress that I have that is dissatisfying, we have a right to feel that dissatisfaction. But that encourages us to make better decisions about what we spend our money on, and how we allocate um, our resources, and how we consume things in the future. So I hope this video has taught you something. I hope it's taught me something as well when I've been talking to you. And um, make a comment in the comment section below. And thanks for watching. Bye for now.